I will be heavily featuring Reolink's track camera today. Where you go? Don't leave. So, I promise this isn't a bait and switch. I have a big thing to talk about, and it's just that this camera demonstrates my point really well, and well, Reolink sponsored this video, so what am I gonna do? There is, though, an elephant in the room that I wanted to talk about. Reolink didn't send me that, I'm sure that's here. The first big myth about security cameras is that wireless security cameras can't produce as good of a picture as wired security cameras. And while this is generally true, 5 GHz security cameras have kind of changed all that. Reolink's Argus Track, for example, is a 4K wide-angle telephoto lens with 6 times hybrid zoom, 8 megapixel color night vision, and dual Wi-Fi bands that rather unusually can connect you to either your 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi network or your 5 GHz Wi-Fi network. 5 GHz Wi-Fi is faster than 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi, but doesn't have the same range. You can only do it over short distances, which does mean that you might need to get your router closer to the camera than the Xenomorph got to me in Alien 3. How much of you had to stop trying to kiss me? Oh, I want to kiss you, stop it. Breath stinks. Pop culture references. Get to the point. Point is, if you have a decent Wi-Fi router with a mesh system like I do, you might find that a 5 GHz Wi-Fi camera will serve you better than a wired system, so you don't have to drill holes in your landlord's house. The second myth is that wireless cameras don't have the same level of power as a wired system, and yet the 295 lumen floodlight on the Argus Track might disagree with you. Wow. We're almost at a big lie, I promise, if that's why you clicked. Just why don't you stick around anyway? Jerk. So, the most amazing thing about this camera is that Reolink claim that for every 10 minutes of sunlight you give it, you'll get 24 hours of coverage out of the camera. I don't know if that's true, but I mean, if it is, it's pretty good for the UK, because today's forecast is bland. I will be testing it over time, but so far, I have to say, with rigorous testing going on over the space of 3 days, the camera's battery is still at like 64%, and it hasn't been plugged in once. Chris, sorry mate. I can see you're sat with your bored wife, wishing she wasn't watching this show, but you've been watching for ages and you still haven't pressed the subscribe button and dinged the bell and given this video a thumbs up, so perhaps I've just scared all the Chris's to death. If your name is not Chris, please do all those things anyway, on with the show. And now finally, the big lie. 4K isn't 4K. It's bollocks.
The land of make-believe.
Because, as far back as I can remember, manufacturers have been saying, oh, our camera does 480p, and last year they only did 240p, so now they're twice as good. Cameras aren't that simple. Yummy pixels. And it's technically not a lie, because more pixels does mean more detail at the sensor on the camera. But if that sensor is being fed information from the outside world through a milk bottle top, then it's going to look like a blurry bloody mess. And on top of this, camera manufacturers use a compression algorithm on all of their cameras to try and squash everything down to its tiniest possible format. And this just ruins the image in almost all cases. Every camera manufacturer has to do this, but not to the degree that they do necessarily, and if they don't do it very well, it comes out like a horrible cuboid mess. Whatever Reolink are doing with their compression algorithm, it's working. And not only this, they clearly have some really nice lenses on this thing, because this is actually probably the best picture I've ever had out of any camera so far. The daytime footage is more crisp than anything I have seen, and so is the infrared night vision. And this is the second camera I've received this year that has 2 lenses built into it. One for focusing on close quarters, and one for ensuring you have decent clarity from further away, with the zoom lens using a 1080p sensor, and the wide-angle lens using 4K. More importantly though, it looks really cute. It looks like Wall-E and Ava boinked and made a baby.
Welcome to Reolink.
Why has it got such a sexy voice?
Please install the Reolink app and and scan the QR code on the camera.
Why are you so sexy?
Oh
Oh god, it's even more sexy in foreign languages. I know I've done this joke before, but do not accept if seal is broken is still my favourite thing on any packaging ever. Because this is Reolink, there is no subscription fee whatsoever. You can either use the micro SD card storage 128 gig, or you can actually spend money on the cloud storage if you want to. At time of filming, it's £3.49 per month for 5 cameras and 30-day rolling storage, which for comparison's sake, the Ring Protect plan is $4.99 for just 1 camera. Ring cameras! We're called Ring because your ring hurts when you pay for one! The Argus Track also has sound and visual alerts to scare burglars away, and that looks like this. And the pan and tilt auto tracking is the best I have seen as well. No amount of running manages to lose it, and they've nailed the way this works. There's no jerky picture because it doesn't move until you're about to leave the frame. I found it really hard to try and trick it. Aside from that, the camera has everything you would expect from a modern system, including a playback timeline for viewing events, customizable motion detection zones, motion sensitivity adjustment, not just for people, but also for pets and traffic, scheduling of notifications, and the ability to load the feed on Google Home devices and Chromecast. Why would anyone bother with that? Google, our automations and integrations are utter garbage. Pop us in a bin. Reolink also informed me that they're going to have this working for Amazon Alexa too, and I believe them, because it's Reolink. They have done this on lots of other cameras, and they're just getting this one working right now. So this thing's got probably the best picture I've seen so far, no subscription fees, best-in-class pan and tilt functionality, the sexiest voice I have ever heard, second only to my wife, of course. If we've got good response times for notifications, then this could be the best camera on the market. Let's check it out. So, I've got both cameras over there on the desk, and we're going to see which one notifies me first when I move in front of the cameras. So, I'm going to sneak on from the side here. Oh, AQARA, and Reolink. So that's the kind of delay you're looking at. It's not a terrible delay, it's just not as good as some other manufacturers. Both cameras, exactly the same place. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. I bring you guys technology reviews every week, and I like to give you the good and the bad. So this section is all the things I've found wrong with this camera. If you like that sort of thing, why not give this video a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell and seeing more of me. So, the thing I found with this is I'm really struggling with the Wi-Fi. It keeps dropping out. I get booted out of the camera. When I get into the camera, sometimes I can't get stuff to play back. And I have tried changing my Wi-Fi channel to a different number. I have swapped to a different router. I have tried everything and it's not working for me. If that's resolved, maybe future Paul will come in like he so often does and let us know. No, it's exactly the same as it was before. That's an anticlimax. It's clearly not fixed. Paul from the further future here. I've spoken to Reolink and they've said that they think it's because I have been sent a pre-production model, and that the consumer model doesn't have this problem. I can only take Reolink's word for that, which it would make me a very good review if I just went, yeah, that's definitely the case. I don't know, but what I have done is checked the Amazon reviews, and not a single person is saying the same thing that I am. So, it's probably fine. I shall update the description if I find out any more information, but that's what Reolink is saying, and yeah, Amazon reviews look fine. Stop mixing intellectual properties! I keep saying this to manufacturers, but they really need a snooze button for the alerts. You can either turn the PIR off or turn the PIR on. I want to snooze it because I forget to put it back on again when I've been away and done something in the garden, and then go back in the house again, and then the camera's not watching for anyone for several weeks before I go, oops, I forgot to turn it back on. Reolink, please, a snooze button. We need one. It's got the weakest tilt I have ever seen. His little head's just like, That's the best. That's the best they can do. It's really annoying. It is fine if you plan to mount it up high because it can look down just fine. But if you planned on mounting it to a ceiling, it won't be able to look very far, which is kind of a bizarre choice for Reolink to make. I don't know why its motor just doesn't let it. Why? Doesn't it just go further? Strange. And finally, turn the color night vision off. Just forget about it. It's not great to look at anyway. There's a lot of ghosting, but this ghosting also means that the track function doesn't work very well either. You need black and white footage. That's the only way to do it. I wouldn't bother with the color night vision at all. This is one of the best pictures I have ever seen out of a security camera, and its price tag is reasonable. If you're interested in getting one of these things, there's no subscription fee each month. This is a really worthwhile purchase. If you're interested, as usual, there are links in the description as to where you can pick one up. In the meantime, these incredible people running up your screen are my patrons from Patreon, and without them, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be working in a call center somewhere. If you want to be one of these incredible people, I'm thanking one every single week personally. This week is Chris Medley, simply for being my most recent patron. Honestly, I can't thank you enough, Chris, and the same to all of these people. If you want to be one, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks, my X's, my Threads, my Instagrams, my TikToks. Come and hang out there and be best friends. See you next time. Is that wired security cameras can do a better picture. What am I, a 5th grader? What am I, American? What's wrong with me? Or your 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. I made that really dramatic. Or, stop it. Wow, the land of make-believe. Crap.